Right. Hello to everyone listening today. I'm Josh Moore, Marketing Manager at Net-Ctrl, and I'm joined by Nick Keegan, who is the multi-dwelling unit specialist for Ruckus in the UK and Ireland. And today we're going to be talking about why good Wi-Fi is more important for residents than it ever has been before. As a start, I'm just going to give you a brief overview of Net-Ctrl. So Net-Ctrl is a leading Ruckus integrator in the UK. We've been delivering and integrating technology solutions since 2002, and this has been mainly around wireless, networking, firewalls, and access control technology into a range of different markets. During this time, we've worked with over 1,000 clients concerning wired and wireless network integration. We support clients every step of the way through a dedicated account management structure who act as a constant point of contact throughout your relationship with Net-Ctrl and all of your projects. At Net-Ctrl, we have our own in-house support team. They're there to support you with technical assistance should anything go wrong or should you have any queries. And most importantly, Net-Ctrl, we're a service-led organization. So we want to differentiate ourselves from other providers through the level of service that we offer. And from a networking perspective, this starts with free predictive surveys and project proposal design. So you can begin to get an idea of what we can achieve and all the associated costs in doing so. So in our session today, we're going to be looking at the results of a UK-based survey conducted by Ruckus, and the results have only just been made available to us. I think it was actually conducted back in March, so really, really recent. And we're going to be talking about the benefits of Wi-Fi to a care home or assisted living and facility. And we're also going to take a quick look beyond Wi-Fi and finally finish with how we fit into that story. At this point, I'm going to pass over to Nick, who's going to talk through the survey and go through some of the findings.
Thanks, Josh. Thank you everyone for joining us today. It's a pleasure to be speaking to you. As Josh mentioned, I head up the multi-dwelling unit business for Ruckus within the UK and Ireland. And within the MDU environment, we associate assisted living and senior living. So, as Josh has alluded to, Ruckus have very recently conducted a survey into the market, and we looked at three key objectives of what we wanted to achieve from that survey. It was a Google-based survey. The first was to understand the importance of Wi-Fi as a choice criteria for senior living. The second was to gain insights on the impact of missing out on Wi-Fi. And the third was to explore the benefits of Wi-Fi for care home owners and management. So we took a sample size of 1,000. We actually had 1,002 respondents. Our target group was 65 plus, all English speaking. We went across all genders who were computer literate, because obviously with it being Google survey, they had to answer online. And as Josh mentioned, this is a very recent survey. We actually collated data over a 7-day period in March. So there was 10 questions in total. We're just going to pick a couple out of where we thought there was data that we would be able to build upon and provide you with some relevant feedback. So the first one was question 3. What do we use the internet for? As you can see here, there's a huge range of internet usage. Key for me is only 13% of over 65s are having no internet usage whatsoever. So that leaves a huge proportion of the over 65 who completed the survey have engagement on the internet platform using emails, chat, social networks being 75.8%, online shopping 58%, and information gathering 42%. They're the most predominant in the results here. Question 4. How often do you presently use video telephony? Active users is 68%. Once a week, once a month, and more than once a week equate to 68%. This is how we are starting to see the 65 and older generation interacting with the other generations, family and friends. Question 5. If you were living in a senior care home or assisted living, how would you keep in touch with friends and family during times of restricted contacts? The COVID pandemic obviously is what this question was based at. And the number of respondents who do not maintain contact during restricted periods was 33.8, again leaving a huge percentage who do maintain contact during the COVID pandemic. Smartphones are the most used device in these situations, followed by emails. Question 6. Which criteria were, are, or may be important for you when choosing a senior care home? Again, these were questions targeted at the 65 plus generation. These are people who will likely be using a care home at some stage in their life, and these were the key important factors for them. And they were down to price, location, and quality. They were classed as the three most important. But if you just have a look down at point 4, technical equipment, smart TVs, etc., there was a 10%. So of those 1,000 people, 100 people have said there's a key requirement there for technology. Question 7. Regarding your choice of criteria for senior care home or assisted living, how important is internet access to you? The graph pretty much speaks for itself. Important or very important is 67% of the users. There's a huge drive for technology. Tenants want a home from home environment, and we are used to having Wi-Fi. We're used to having the technology at home. When they move into senior living or assisted living, they require that ongoing technological use for the reasons listed previously. Question 8. If internet access is important or very important to you, what main benefit do you see for yourself as a tenant? Again, I think that this is very key to business operations within care homes. As you can see, Wi-Fi is desirable in a care home for the following reasons: consultation with doctors and care personnel, 39%, digital media to support mental fitness, 26%, and intelligent emergency solutions around the 20% mark. So there is a key requirement here for technology. And then finally, question 9, the word 10. We've picked out the few of the most important. If internet access is important or very important to you, would you be prepared to pay a monthly fee for Wi-Fi across the entire care home assisted living facility? If you have a look at this, both yes and not too sure equate for around about 60%. There is such a requirement here for Wi-Fi that tenants are willing to pay for it. There is Ruckus technology that allows you to put this technology into each tenant's room and give them their own home from home experience. That sums up the Google survey that we did. Again, just to highlight, the over 65s, we had over 1,000 respondents over a week-long period, and the results are pretty telling that there is a massive drive for Wi-Fi, and we can only see that going one way. Josh, back to you. Do you want to give the guys an overview of what Wi-Fi can do for a care home?
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, that'd be great. So look, I think looking at those results, obviously, as Nick said, it's very telling that Wi-Fi is a big demand. 80% of that audience is saying that internet access is important in some aspect, and almost 50% of that actually classing that as a very important requirement for when they're looking at a care home environment or assisted living. I think it's also interesting when we look at that last question, number 9. So 30% of that audience will be willing to pay for Wi-Fi on a monthly basis. So this opens up a whole new conversation about monetizing a Wi-Fi service, and potentially as an avenue to actually pay for an integration and then actually to maintain that upkeep. And I think this certainly supports what we're talking about today. So we're going to be moving on to the next section, which is looking at the benefits of Wi-Fi. And we're going to look at this from an organization perspective, but also from a resident's or a tenant's perspective. So from an organization perspective, it's a case of supporting business critical applications, services, and in order to maintain a high level of care and service to users. It provides that ability to support remote services such as virtual consultations with specialists unable to attend your site. This means that you can pool resource from wherever they may be in the country. And if we look back at the survey that Nick's just been through, almost 40% of the audience said they saw that this as a key benefit of Wi-Fi in a care home setting. Wi-Fi provides your team with a seamless network to record data. So wherever they are in the building, whether it be a patient's room, a hallway, a cafeteria, wherever it may be, they can record that data and make sure it's done productively and efficiently. And these are just a few of the organization benefits that we've seen, and certainly our clients have seen, but certainly there are many more. If we look from a resident perspective, this really does come down to communication. This is something that has been a challenge for many over the last 14 to 15 months in terms of maintaining forms of communication with those unable to visit, friends and family that don't live close or unable to visit due to protocols on the site. And if again, we refer back to the survey that Nick's been through, there was one question in there that said, if you were in a senior care home or assisted living environment, how would you keep in touch with friends and family? So 51.5% of the audience said by smartphone, 35.7% was email, 30% messaging services like WhatsApp, and 20% was Skype and other video telephony services. And of those, 70% said they'll use it at least once a week, and almost 40 more than once a week. So I think the demand for wireless in the over 65 is certainly there, and that's something that's going to increase over time as well. And then if we exclude communication, and it's also entertainment for residents and users. At the moment, it's estimated that only in the UK, only half full care homes and assisted living facilities do currently provide Wi-Fi. And so when we've attended trade shows, from conversations we've had with clients, those that do have it, it tends to be that it's not performing how they thought it would, or their users just aren't able to use it. So, I think that's one of the key takeaways we've actually had, is that whilst it may be implemented, it's just not fit for purpose. So we're going to take a little bit just to quickly kind of go beyond what Wi-Fi is and what it delivers, and a little bit on what's next. And actually, what's next is something that's been around for a long time. It's something that's becoming increasingly popular, and it's the Internet of Things, or IoT, or IoT-related services. So in regards to your environments, this can be things like wayfinding, tracking services, room controls like thermostats, access control infrastructure like door handles. And the demand for IoT is only going to grow. And we've seen recently at Apple's latest big product release, they released the AirTag, which is a small chip that allows for the tracking of an item, such as a device. And this technology has been around for a while. But if Apple are going to be building and investing in it, then it's something that's likely to grow exponentially. And it's these sort of devices with the likes of the Alexas, the Google Homes, the smart speaker that potentially tenants will be bringing in with them when they move into facilities like yours. And if they want that home away from home experience, it's going to be down to organizations like yours to support these devices. And this could be a key differentiator between you and those that are local to you. And this is where Ruckus and Net-Ctrl come in. We do not only provide the networking and the wireless support, upkeep, maintenance, but we also provide platforms for trends on the market, such as IoT. So, for example, Ruckus have the IoT management platform. It's essentially a simplified management access for IoT technology. So there's a number of different ways that IoT devices maintain communication, and Ruckus allow you to manage that from one place. It simplifies everything for you, and that's just one piece of a much wider portfolio that Ruckus offer. So just moving on. So wires. Hopefully in the last further survey and the last couple of slides, we've made a clear case why Wi-Fi, or the benefits of Wi-Fi in care homes. There are obviously a lot of challenges that come with that service. So why use Net-Ctrl? First and foremost, as I mentioned at the start, we're a service-led organization. We've been delivering wireless into the organizations like yours for a number of years, and we're aware of some of the challenges that you face. We understand that you have demanding built environments that aren't kind to Wi-Fi, tend to be thick walls, narrow corridors, with a demanding user base. You may currently have little to no existing networking or data points to support a new solution. You might have no in-house IT support to maintain deployment like Wi-Fi. And then you might have this ever-growing to support new tablets, apps, other technologies. But as well as these, one of the biggest challenges is not knowing where to go for support, who to speak to about integrating it. So Net-Ctrl, this is where we come in. We've integrated wireless into over 1,000 organizations throughout the UK in some of the most challenging environments you can imagine. and we support you every step of the way. We offer free of charge predictive surveys and proposals, so you know ahead of time what the service you can expect and how much it's going to cost. We have our own in-house support team to support you for whatever happens, and we offer a range of financial schemes to suit your organization's preferred purchasing model. And Net-Ctrl is backed by Ruckus. Ruckus are a market-leading manufacturer of networking solutions. They have extremely flexible deployment options with a wide portfolio. This includes cloud-managed infrastructure, which has been really popular in the sector. They have patented technology which separate them from other networking suppliers, and they're already working in a sector throughout the UK. So if you know you need wireless or have an existing wireless solution that just isn't performing how it should or how you expected, then really do speak to us, even if it's just to have a sounding board. And I'm going to close on this bit, but Nick, is there anything else you want to add at this stage?
Just one last point from myself, Josh, which is Ruckus are identified and seen as the #1 vendor for wireless and switching within the hospitality industry. And I'm working very closely with yourself at Net-Ctrl. We've got a great understanding of the vertical. And as Josh has said, please reach out if there's any questions. But apart from that, Josh, back to you.
Thanks, Nick. So I've been told that the Q&A box is going to be open now. So if you do have any immediate questions, please do let me know and I'll try and get back to them all. Alternatively, my email is listed on the last slide. Do email with any questions you should have, and we hope to speak to you soon. Thank you.